Well, this is another one of my childhood favorites. It was Dad's old-fashioned root beer.
You just can't bother real root beer lovers when they're loving their dads. You just can't bother real root beer lovers when they're loving their dads. 'Cause no other root beer really has the root beer taste that's only Dad's. Dad's is the real root beer lovers.
This was developed in the 30s by partners Barney Burns and Eli Clapman in the basement of Clapman's Chicago home. First trademark filed in 1938, granted in 39. Let's see, it was famous throughout the Midwest by the late 40s. Was one of the most consumed brands of root beer throughout the United States. It was second behind A&W root beer. I used to buy this. It was easier to get this at the store than it was to go find an A&W root beer place. They tasted pretty much the same. I enjoy this one very much. It used to come in 3 different sizes, 7, 10, and 12 ounce. And this is what the original bottle looked like. And they used to have a sale that if you bought the Papa half gallon at regular price, you could get the Mama quart for 1 cent. They sold the rights to Dad's logo to IC Industries in the 70s. The Monarch Beverage Company of Atlanta acquired Dad's from IC Industries in 1986. At that time, Dad's was distributed by the Coca-Cola Company. They used to sell 12 million cases annually. That's a lot of root beer. And in 2007, Dad's root beer was purchased from Monarch, along with Bubble Up, which I've heard of, Dr. Wells, which I've never heard of, and also Suncrest Brands by Hediger Brands LLC. The headquarters now is located in Jasper, Indiana, and it recently celebrated its 75th anniversary in 2012. So I think it's time that we pop it and
I'll zoom in on the bottle a little bit.
give a little taste.
Okay, now let me see if I can get this.
All right.
I'm not a professional like John. There we go.
All right. So shall we give it a try? Well, tell me about how you first found it and why it became one of your favorites.
Well, I found it
in the grocery store when I lived in the Eau Claire section. There used to be a grocery store called Shumpert's, and they had it in there, and it was easier to get Dad's root beer than it was to get A&W, because I'd have to go across town to get A&W.
Alright, let's see if I can get a little of me in here.
Yeah, you need to put everybody in there.
Not that you really want to see all that much of me, I'm sure, but see, this is why I have a cameraman to do this for me. I guess enough of me is there.
Ooh, it smells like A&W.
I was expecting more head.
Yeah,
Huh.
not a bit.
Yeah, you're right. It does kind of smell like A&W. Now, when I was a kid, A&W root beer was my favorite root beer. That was what we always got.
It's got that good root beer flavor.
Yeah, yeah.
I like it a lot.
It's not an overly strong root beer flavor.
No.
And it's got that, as much use sugar with this one too, because it sure tastes like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not as carbonated as I thought it would be.
Yeah, I was surprised too. I thought that we get ahead, on it, like a beer, but I remember A&W used to.
Does this taste like what you remember?
Yeah, it definitely does.
Well, like I said, we usually did A&W a lot because just down the road from my house when we were growing up, there was an A&W root beer drive-in place, and we used to go there pretty much every either Saturday or Sunday night, and we'd all get a root beer float.
You got that right.
Man, was that good. I imagine you could do just as good a root beer float with his dad's.
I believe you could. It does taste like I remembered. It is good.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Yep,
I
maybe.
think I'd still have to go with A&W myself,
Yeah.
but if I couldn't find A&W, this would be an acceptable substitute.
That's why I went for this one. To me, for A&W was all the way across town.
Yeah.
And
All right. Well, I'll try to find some Dad's old root beer advertising and stuff to stick in here in between this and the final segment, which will be coming up right about now. For our final vintage childhood soda, we're going to do one of mine, Cheerwine.
Cherry different soft drink.
Are Northerners hoarding Cheerwine to take back home? Here's our report.
That's right. We're at this local market to show you how Yankees are taking our Cheerwine. There they are now! Why are you taking our Cheerwine? Where in New York are you bringing it?
Hey, we don't know nothing about that. We's from Charlotte.
They don't sound like they're from Charlotte, Skip. Skip?
After you, Stacy!
Cheerwine, more than just a cherry different soft drink. It's a right worth protecting.
Now, let me tell you a little about Cheerwine. It was founded by Louis D. Peeler in 1917. Cheerwine is a Piedmont-produced and distributed soda based in Salisbury, North Carolina. Famous for its distinct cherry flavor and burgundy color, Cheerwine has enjoyed tremendous popularity among many North Carolinians through the reception and distribution, though the reception and distribution outside the state has been limited. The beverage, named Cheer for the pleasure it includes, and wine for its deep red color, inspired by the company's first slogan, for health and pleasure. And yeah, it does, when it's in the glass, you'll see it looks like a burgundy wine. Now this is the original, this is the bottle, but here's what the original bottle looked like. Okay, now, a little bit more here. Though Cheerwine was invented in 1917, the story of the drink began 4 years prior. After buying into a Kentucky-based bottling company named Mint Cola Bottling, Peeler and other investors opened a local franchise of the company near the railroad line of Salisbury, North Carolina. When the Mint Cola Bottling filed for bankruptcy, Peeler bought the franchise and used it to found the Carolina Beverage Corporation. Soon after, Peeler set out to develop a drink with a unique taste, yet one that required less sugar, a significant concern for other beverage producers during the sugar shortage of the day. According to the Cheerwine Company, a salesman from St. Louis approached Peeler and sold him a formula for a wild cherry beverage that met Peeler's needs. After some adjustments, Cheerwine was born. Later that year, it was sold to North Carolinians. As the beverage grew in popularity, so did its geographic distribution. Renamed the Piedmont Cheerwine Bottling Company in 1924 to increase brand recognition, Cheerwine marketers worked to solidify its hold on western North Carolina. Following the death of Peeler's death, LD's son, Clifford Peeler, began an aggressive marketing and distributing campaign to expand the Cheerwine product lines beyond the borders of the Carolinas and Virginia and to other regions of the country. Though various distribution companies, Clifford introduced the beverage in places as far as Illinois. However, the company chose to forfeit expanding distribution in exchange for higher quality control of their products in the region. Though it seems Cheerwine will remain primarily a regional beverage, the brand's solid foothold in North Carolina and neighboring states suggests its continued success. Okay, now, when I was a child and I first had my first Cheerwine, it was only sold in North Carolina. And it just so happened that my mother's best friend, someone from her college days, lived in Charlotte, North Carolina. So, usually a couple of times a year, we'd go up to Charlotte, North Carolina, and my mother and I would stay with her friend and their family, usually for about a week at a time. And that's where I had my first Cheerwine soda, and it wasn't my last. I really liked it. As I recall, it tasted something like a cherry cola with a lot more cherry and a lot less cola flavor. It has since gotten to where it's sold here in South Carolina and some other places, but at the time that it was my favorite as a child, I had to go to North Carolina to get it. So usually whenever we'd go to North Carolina to visit, we'd always bring some back with us, because I wasn't the only one in the family that liked it. So, all right, John, come on around, and we will try this.
It does have a deep wine color, doesn't it? That's a plenty.
Okay. Yeah, as you can see, it does look like you've got a goblet of dark burgundy wine. So let's have a taste.
Mmm. Like you said, cherry cola with more cherry.
It tastes just like I remember it.
Yeah.
Which I would expect, because the company is a family-owned company. They've been making it like this for a long, long time, and they're really big on their quality control. So I was expecting it to taste like I remembered it, and it does. It really is a good, refreshing soda. And I have not had one of these in many, many years. I pretty much stopped drinking sodas years ago when I first developed diabetes. So, this is the first one I've had in quite some time.
This is a good one.
It's sweet, but not too sweet. It has a dark red cherry flavor.
Carbonated just right.
Yeah, and just that hint of almost cola flavor, even though it's not a cola.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it has any cola, in it. But I mean, it's not like drinking cherry syrup or something.
Right.
I mean, I think they must use natural cherry flavor in it, because that's what it tastes like.
It sure does.
And looks just like I remember it. Tastes just like I remember it. I'm going to finish this one.
There you go. I finished my last one with the dad's.
Okay, I will be adding some of the vintage advertising, whatever I can, to this video, and this has been our nostalgic vintage soda review. Hope you've enjoyed it, and to the Judkins, be expecting a package with everything you just saw.
Yeah.
And I will be expecting to see a video very shortly after you get it, or I will be very disappointed. So this is Spec Ops 56. My good friend John saying so long, and you know, if y'all had some favorite sodas as a child, I'd love to see a video of you reviewing it, whoever you may be. So long, till next time. John, you do that, and I'll do
All
this.
right.
Oh.
That good, eh?
It is good. Yes, it's good.